Hello everybody and welcome to our second game of King of the Hill, a special event for the Grand Championship Series. Milestone rewards today. We have a game right now between two absolute pylons of the Company of Heroes community, HelpingHans playing as the Brits on the south side of Kolodny Firma.
And he's up against Jove in the west as OKW. Two players playing on factions they know very well indeed. Jove, of course, was doing excellently with OKW in ESL, and Hans won the last monthly of the European ESL, famously, of course, as Brits. It's a tournament map, and it's in the build-up to a massive tournament itself.
Things getting heated right away from the start of this game. Tommy's coming in, trying to capture this very important house here if you can go for an aggressive push at the start. Jove, of course, knows exactly what to expect. Stern Pioneers straight up to that point. Doing a really good job at the start. And I love this aggression because Brits, you know, they're not that kind of aggressive faction normally. But Hans is one of those players that can bring out the best in them. And a great player to watch at all times.
I just heard in chat that the Feisty Dutchman says, I wonder which doctrine HelpingHans will go. Well, no. This is the Grand Championship Series mini patch. It's currently in mod form. It's there for testing before it gets released, hopefully, touch wood. And at the moment, HelpingHans' mobile regiment, which, by the way, has newly and slightly nerfed land mattresses, lower rate of fire, easier to escape from. Tactical Support Regiment, which has artillery cover, which has been nerfed. It's now much easier to dodge. It's like zeroing arty, if you've ever experienced that. And a Special Weapons Regiment. So, you know, it's not obvious anymore. Things have been moved around a little bit.
Yeah. I think we may see that commander based on familiarity. I think that would be it, though. There's plenty more to choose from in the Brits now. There's so much more that's going to be going on. Check out this retreat here, though. Negative cover here from HelpingHans. A long retreat with the Tommies. Stern Pioneers couldn't quite get the SMGs to close the kill there. Very nearly an early squad wipe, though.
So it's going to require him to get the healing on the Brits. Tommies, though, he's going to have to get that now. He's going to have to wait whilst he reinforces those two lost squad members. So, you know, a little bit of damage was done. And he also, Hans has now made... Oh, what the hell? How did he get in there?
One model was hanging off of that squad, which meant that they weren't all close enough to get into the building. And Hans has tried to be so aggressive against Jove at the start of this game, and Jove, just very casually now, especially with the Kubel, can cap a lot of territory, get those resources rolling in. Hans is going to have to play one hell of a defensive game from here forward.
Do you know why this is really exciting, Dan? Because this is starting to look like high level. I mean properly high level Company of Heroes play.
Don't use those words lightly, eh? It's been so long.
What do you mean, sorry?
High level play. I mean, like, tournament play is really the case. It's tournament season. Tournament season is about to hit. And if anyone remembers what ESL was like, it was actually some of the best Company of Heroes experience that I've ever had community-wise.
It was the best ever, by far, in Company Heroes history, in 10 years of Company Heroes. You know.
Entirely. And you know, these kind of plays, they're exactly reminiscent of the kind of things we used to see when we were watching ESL. Two very high-level players, but I just loved that early game. Absolutely fantastic. We haven't even had much time to just kind of talk and waffle. They've been straight in on the action.
It's been great.
Sorry, Karen.
The idea of it being high-level tournament play and why we're going on and on of going for the jugular early game, of ignoring capping, because capping is not important. Manpower is important. Trying to destroy early squads and then push your opponent away. They're going for the kill immediately. It's very reminiscent of high-level Company Heroes 1 play and its Zenith. It's very reminiscent of ESL last year already. We're seeing them raising the game.
It's one of those things as well. It's high risk, high reward on that level because, you know, you can push, you can be really aggressive, you can get a hell of a lot out of the early game, or you can kind of barrel back and have to play a slower entry into the mid game. And I guess that's kind of what's happened for Hans here. He's now gone for the double engineers. He's going to have good kind of close range units that can kind of close the gap with protection of the Tommies. I'll be very interested to see if Hans goes for the tech of the AEC or if that changes because of the differences in that unit since the patch dropped.
The AEC, with its accuracy changes, it's now a lot more accurate, but with a lot less spread. So it can, it's much better against, well, not much better against people. It's now defined by how rather than being a little tiny bit of an all-rounder before it could kind of sweep up some infantry on retreat, etc. So it's now more of a case of you don't want to go it unless you know you've got an early light armor threat to counter.
Hopefully that's what we'll see. Previously, when we were doing the previews of this patch, Hans was still building the AC anyway, and we just saw it to be less effective. But still a good unit, you know, it's still a contributor on the field. We had a really nice mine laid down by the Northern VP by Jove. He's clearly expecting that some kind of light vehicle is going to come out from Hans, and is getting the provisions in place for that now. I'm loving these Kubel pushes as well. They're really like causing distractions for the Tommies, where the Volksgrenadiers can just pull off a bunch of shots. Which is really, really nice.
I suppose one thing, Dan, that'll be really indicative of if Hans doing stuff like reading the balance note and not going for the AEC just because we saw that in the old King of the Hill before the big tournaments. Oh my god. Tommy, so close to death.
That is really close.
It's Whisker, Dan.
I'm not sure if there's like a threshold noise gate or something, but your mic is cutting out a little bit every now and again. Okay. Maybe just go a little closer to it, just see if it's that.
Sure, we'll try that.
But yeah, what a push there from Jove. That was a very lucky squad to get away there. That was very close to being one of the first, well, the first squad loss of the game. AEC is coming out from Hans. I think he'll make a good job of this. He's doing the right things. He's putting some mines down, just kind of making it difficult for OKW to kind of move around. Probably going to force the upgrade of the combat package, sorry, support package on the Stern Pioneers to try and do the mine sweeping there. But the stats, you know, they reveal something a little different. It's still dead even in terms of what the, you know, the kill to death ratio is.
Yeah, it's an interesting kill to death ratio so far. I think the stats, you know, hide the picture of just how frenetic this game has been. But of course, with high level play, you do get a lot of good squad preservation as well.
That was the first sighting of the flamethrowers upgrade on the engineers, which is going to give away Hans' doctrine choice to Jove immediately. Jove will now realise that the pick is Mobile Assault Regiment, and it's up to him how he's going to respond to that. I wonder if we see that classic scavenge doctrine play that we used to see back, you know, all the way a year ago in ESL. Do you remember the double Rakettens, double Ostwind strat?
Oh yeah, that was a good strat at the time. Interesting to see if he goes it now. He still does, of course, have the Command Panther, which, by the way, is displaying 10 CPs.
It may be displaying it, but not actually using it.
Maybe something to report to Mr. Smith.
Yeah. Raketten here looks like, is he going to go for the church? No, he's going to put it on stealth. Camoing up to the AEC, wants to get that first shot straight off. Kubel's trying to do some capping. I feel like, you know, whilst Hans is trying to fight out of his own territory, he has still got a lot of territory control to his name at the moment. Flamethrower engineer is going to try and clear the MG out of this building, suppressed by the MG.
I predict, by the way, that Mobile Assault Regiment will still be the most popular commanders for Brits in the moment, mainly because Brits do not have a non-doctrinal flamethrower. So folks could be going down first loss of the game.
Nope, still nothing at the moment. A great preservation from both of the players there. Really, really nice. Jove doesn't want to retreat that Raketten, being chased down a little bit. He wants to keep it there to try and deal with the AEC. He's going to line up for a second shot. I don't think Hans has moved. Going to take a second hit to the AEC. That's now going to be forced to retreat back down the map.
Very, very good shot there. I think that's great game knowledge from Jove. Jove is somebody that because it was getting a little bit ridiculous how many hours he was clocking up in 2015-16, and I predict when he had like cast the same, he's got 7,000 hours in the game. He chose that the moment to hide his profile. He has played this game till his fingers bled as Jove. He knows things that people don't know, and he can judge situations really quickly. So whereas somebody else would retreat that Raketten, he's like, no, I've got a folks coming, it's fine. And he just soft micros away. It's the only thing you can get with like brutal experience.
Overt tactics now available to frontline troops. Salvaging
He's such a nice player to watch. But I mean, equally, like, you have two players. I always think, like, you know, Hans is a very deep thinker when it comes to this game. You know, like I love this on the top. You know, camping the fuel point there with the trench. Really nice use of that trench. And it might take a infiltration nade to try and clear him out of there, but it's going to deny fuel for now. And Hans just like, you know, did a very good job of controlling the map back. Yeah, but Jove is, at least in my opinion, he's much a faster player, and he's all over the map in a lot more places than Hans is seeming to be.
There we go. Incendiary grenade goes in on the trench, but it did the job. It denied, you know, the fuel for a while, I suppose. So well, it wasn't bad. And Hans is recapping the rest of the map, whilst Jove has to dedicate himself to dealing with it.
Oh, nice commandos pop out there. Trying to get some shots off from the Stern Pioneers. They go behind cover. They're up against 2 Tommy squads. Going to have to take a soft retreat around the back hedgerow there. Now it's the Kugel's job to try and get some health damage off of the commandos. It's a very difficult situation, actually. Hans is really putting the pressure on Jove right now.
If we get a chance at another survey, I would get a chance at another survey. I'd love an look into by the mod team if we get a chance to designate that as part of scope. I'd love it that you click on it and you get like a 5-second timer before they infiltrate, you know, just to give some time for counterplay.
Yeah, that grenade is very quick when they come out on the field. And
yeah, it can move. I think partisans in particularly can be a little bit obnoxious with the AT Shreks.
What a great position for Hans at the moment. Got a really important building sitting right outside the battle grouper of Jove's OKW headquarters, and it's very difficult. Jove's just trying to find ways of clearing them out. Probably wants to get an incendiary grenade on that building and start working out from there. Incendiary grenade. Actually, I think he tried to pop that on the MG instead. Great little push there from Hans. Really locking down as many angles as he can. Bouncing the Tommies in and out of the building to try and avoid Jaegerlight infantry from flashing them out. Now switching squads. There's just so much going on here at the moment.
In terms of teching, we've just had Hans build a sniper, and we're currently having Jove with his Spare Panzerschlepper. He's looking to possibly go for some mechanised, I presume. Maybe get the Schwer out.
Oh, looks like infiltration nades there from the Volksgrenadiers, trying to get the back. A house. Now it's occupied by the Stern Pioneers. AC's going to try and take shots. Just huge pressure still from Hans. Jove's going to try and be coming back from this. I think we're probably going to see him pop the Ostwind out straight away. I don't think we're going to see him wait at all for that. There's no point really in him teching unless he has a lot of those resources kind of flying around freely. So it seems like the obvious thing to do. It'll counter the AEC. Then he's just got to worry about the potential Cromwell that can come out from Hans. We haven't seen that tech up yet from Hans.
He hasn't gone for the Cromwell yet. The Cromwell now has 120 fuel instead, and it's not as good at pushing. It has the comes to turn rates, etc. But look at Hans. He's tightening the noose around, encircling. If you look around the map, you've got units just lying in wait for a big push. And he's going to choose his moment, he's going to choose wisely, and he's going to try and deliver a knockout blow most likely. Oh, I don't... yeah. Not doing anything differently in my end. It's the same. Same thing.
Nice tier 4 from Jove going in, protecting his fuel and the strategic points. Nice position for tier 4. And I was expecting straight into Ostwind, but I guess at 8 CP, it's too far for him to wait for a vehicle. Tier 4's going to give him that little bit of protection, the flexibility to use his AT guns out and about.
Hans is getting a really solid build right now. He's just solidifying everything he has. And he's made significant gains on the battlefield, and it doesn't look like that he's going to relinquish them anytime soon.
Has been converted into the headquarters building.
I'm actually really impressed. I mean, Hans obviously had one of the roughest early games there in terms of territory control. And Jove all over the place at the start, winning engagements left, right, and center. Hans just kind of pulling it back, but he's a very good direction on the south. You know, he has locked it down with mines. I don't think Jove is careless enough to kind of push those points at the moment. So he's already encased one by the kind of support play that's been going on right outside his base, and secondly the fact he doesn't want to extend into those zones. Not without Minesweepers. We still don't have the support package, I don't think, on the Stern Pioneers. Now Hans is going to be able to take that VP in the north as well.
Just so chat knows, there has been one unit that has died. It was off camera for both me and Stormless at the time, but picking that up, it was a Focus Grenadier has gone down of Jove, so that's the first unit to be wiped all game, and it's Helping Hands with the win there. Don't know where it happened though. No clue. Oh, the church takes a beating.
I was talking to you muted, so.
Oh, was I muted just?
No, I muted myself to talk to you, so the stream couldn't hear me. That was all.
Oh, did you? Yeah. When was that?
When I said about talking louder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Incendiary grenade here going on the AT gun. Jove manages to force one of the Tommy squads off the left-hand side, and AC is forced to come over and deal with that on the south. Meanwhile, Luke's putting pressure on the Vickers in the north. Huge engagements all around.
Dear God, the Focus Grenadiers with the SCG in the mid there just...
At your convenience.
The Brit sniper was able to push them away, but the damage was already done. So Jove's starting to make a little bit of a resurgence, Dan.
I hope so. I hope he can expand these territories, because of course Hans has gone the doctrine with the land mattress, and if Jove does get caught up in this area for much longer, in fact land mattress is on the field now, just come in, called by Hans, so we're going to get to see the new version of this and how it's working, but you know, provided Hans can just push Jove into a small area and blast him with this, he's going to get a lot of territory control from this.
So you should notice that the land mattress's rate of fire slightly less good now. It's it should be a little bit slower. Still makes a big impact on the battlefield, but just a tiny bit easier to get out of the way of. It won't just kill everything straight away. It'll just kill half of the things, and the other half will survive with a significant amount of post-traumatic stress disorder. Also, the other change is a tank targets the actual weapon now, not the crew members, so it can be killed by tanks rather easily.
Jove there moving the Kubel up with the detection ability. Here comes that land mattress AE. First one we get to see of it. I think Jove's done a pretty good job of moving out the way of that.
And it is like you're watching, you know, a replay. A bit slower, easy to get away from, and it denies the area. As Jove's had to reposition, and he didn't suffer a single loss, and HelpingHans is probably going, "What the hell have you done to my favourite unit? Where's my look," etc.
Hopefully he'll be using it pretty much just for what it's actually for, area clearance. Still some good preservation going on there, manages to get the retreat off from the engineers. Jove starting to push three sides of the map now, down the center towards the land mattress, very close to a couple of mines there. There's great mines from both players. I don't know if you've spotted them around the map, but the whole place is absolutely littered with mines. The kind of mind games that will be going on, sweeping games, it's going to be lots of that.
So just so people know, the land mattress is still the same cost. It's 40 fuel, 350 manpower, 8 CPs for something that comes out a lot quicker than all the other rocket artillery instruments. But it's a bit slower now. The way I thought of it when we were testing all this is like, I said, why don't we try and make it a little bit like a Nebelverse from Coming Heroes 1. You know, it denies area, it can pick up kills, but it doesn't kill everything in the world.
No, it's exactly what it should be as well. It's everything except the very latest of late game artillery should be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Should be quite as devastating as what we've seen the land mattress be.
It used to be 6 CPs, and with a high rate of fire, just let that settle in when it commanded. It's like, what the hell?
Jove here doesn't have his Raketten facing the right way. Actually, looks like it's probably automatically placed itself a different direction. Hans isn't going to push that area with the AEC anymore. He's got the VP he wants, but he's lost the south in the process. Both these guys pretty much hanging around the same VP level. 20 minutes into the game, so it looks set to be a long one at the moment.
Everything's neck and neck, Dan. VPs have bled at a similar rate. We've got kills to deaths of 55 to 52 for Helping. The army values are tied at the moment. They've swapped places, positions quite a lot. Points held have just become tied. Everything spells like we're in for a battle of the Somme kind of situation, a week of 1 million men dying in a muddy field, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
And it's just going to get really interesting. There's so much on the field now. Both players have managed to build up such high amounts of manpower that keeping track of it all is going to be very, very difficult. But the land mattress again firing, this time going for where the Kubel and the Captain was situated, forcing them to move into the sight of the commandos. They should be able to open up fire, perhaps finish off that Kubel. Didn't quite get it.
Oh! They missed on the last rocket in the barrage.
But all this time, Hans is flanking Jove's MG positions, trying to defend the center road. You can see he's going for that triple cap. He's not quite lucky enough to get it.
One of those Royal Engineers had the minesweeper out, so it is a diminished DPS squad. Probably saying to put the frying pan away for a moment. Can we try and attack the enemy? Ooh, what's this from Jove? We've got the Panther, Panzer V, is on the field. It's a medium tank, although it weighs 50 tons. And it's a colossal beast, great at targeting tanks, of which we do currently have one building for HelpingHans. I don't know which one it is. Is it the Comet or the Cromwell? I can't tell.
The Comet would have a tail in the back of it, so I kind of have a feeling. It's a bit difficult to see on that.
Oh, hang on, is that the church? No.
No.
Hang on. Oh, it's the Cromwell. Okay, it's the Cromwell.
It would have a tail on it if it's the Comet.
Always had trouble with those profiles, haven't I, Dan? I remember you saying this to me a year and a half ago. Tail. Did I listen? Probably. Doesn't seem like I did.
I'm actually surprised that it is the Cromwell, if I'm totally honest with you, because, we're 22 minutes in, he didn't have the Cromwell. Cromwell can sometimes come in, what, like 14, 15 minutes of the game? I know there's a little bit of a fuel increase, but he didn't. It's not like he was lacking territory for much of the game. So I thought he was going to be, kind of slow teching up to the Comet. And I guess what's happened is he's got such a big manpower army on the field that he's probably struggling to pull together the manpower to actually bring a unit like that out into the game right now.
It's all manpower, definitely not fuel. It's only 10 fuel more now, 100. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous being 110, so I'm glad it's increased a tiny bit. But yeah, it's of course the manpower he was lacking. Here we go. The cruiser tank smashes onto the field with second shot, racks up 2 kills. The Panther though is going to make a quick reverse out of there.
Yeah, Cromwell versus Panther, not an ideal situation really to be in at all. I'm just loving the play from Jove, so strategic, constantly putting Rakettans near to mines just in case tanks do try to flank those Rakettans. Everything's locked down. All areas. It's a real mission for Hans to attack anywhere at this point. Unfortunately, he does have the land mattress. It's a great area clearance tool, and he might be able to shake things up so that he can get his tanks in there, maybe a bit of infantry, and just cause some chaos. But no upgrades either.
Infrared searchlight as well for Jove, so not expert grandmaster level player. Former #1 in all 5 factions represent Yo. He also has advanced warning and the ability to react to his opponent with aplomb now as well. Jove OP.
I think it's interesting. I mean, he's got 2 forms of that. The Kubel is there with its detection ability on, and he's got the infrared half-tracks. I don't think he needs to necessarily use both of them together. He could have full map vision if he maybe split those out a little bit, but he's using this greatly at the moment. The Rakettan's going in, notes that there's nothing really around in that area, catches Hans completely off guard. A couple of shots go in. Hans hasn't responded yet. The ISG penetrates the front as well. Nearly goes down. One more Rakettan shot would finish it. That was such a delayed response from Hans there.
Also delayed response in the south. Hans targeted the Stern Pioneers on retreat and is neglecting to cap victory points, and he really does have to focus. He's been under a triple cap for a minute.
Yeah, it's got to be a frustrating situation to be in when you get to this point. Because, trying to break OKW here, bear in mind that the Rakettans are stealth, they're camouflaged, it's very, very hard to know where they are. Plus, Jove's playing tactically, he knows where these tanks are, he knows when they're not supported. He's just trying to use the land mattress again. I'm not sure if he's using this to to actually get damage, or whether he's using it to clear an area for an attack. He hasn't used this as a support role at all so far.
To be fair, I think this thing, it's had 3 barrages now. So I think this thing has now been immediately balanced to where it needs to be. And literally, it was just me and a few others and Mr. Smith message just trying it out. And it seems quite well balanced now, Dan, would you say?
Yeah, to be honest, it hasn't done huge amounts of damage at all. I actually think the way Hans may be using this right now is kind of not utilizing its potential, because it's not going to kill anything from what we're seeing right now. What it is going to do is force the opponent to move around a little bit for fear of that happening. So
yeah,
it needs to be used in conjunction with a push from the Cromwell. Maybe
it does.
We also, of course, recently, like the AEC, this is an anti-tank vehicle now, Treadbreaker is functioning for the first time in forever. So, you know, well, there's a really good chance now, you know, that the AEC and the Cromwell can do some great work together if they Treadbreak the Panther, get around the back.
I think Hans needs to adapt a little bit to the patch changes. He needs to use the... I think, by the way, the land mattress is still going to be incredibly... Keeping this in mind, everybody, it now denies the area for long fires for long. So you need to use it in combination with pushes. You need to get your tanks in position, your infantry in position, and then click the land mattress. Don't just fire it willy-nilly, basically.
There, they might trigger the mine. They do. That's unfortunate for Hans. Probably banking on maybe snagging the Panther with that at some point later on. Hans has got no idea of all the detection that's around on the field at the moment. Second Cromwell hits the field too, so maybe we're going to see something that's capable of pushing off Jove, but 3 VPs locked down. Jove is looking fearsome.
I think it just goes to show just the value of reconnaissance in this game. Jove is able to react to every situation, to redistribute his units where he needs them. And just think, everybody, when you're playing Company Heroes, a lot of the time, especially nice from the land mattress, pushes away the MG. Will this be Hans' opportunity? Yes, he is now using it in combination with it. He's going to push through the centre. However, he's found the Panther, the hard target. Will he...
Yeah, this is a pretty big push here. He's trying to try and get rear armour on that, but the Panther reversing is a little bit quicker than what the Cromwells are able to flank around. Doesn't see one. I don't think we have more speed in either of these due to the lack of upgrade to hammer. I really hope these don't get abandoned, because that's absolutely terrible if one of these goes down like that.
Raketten gets 2 shots off. The second Raketten gets another shot off. The Hans went straight into a trap.
Oh man. Yeah, I think, you know what, I think Hans really realised that, like, there was nothing he could do. Jove locked down those areas so well. And it's exactly what OKW is about. I loved watching that, because, you know, you get your recon up, you know where your enemy's coming from, you lay traps, you know, it's just good. That was just really good play. Very, very solid gameplay there. And it was unfortunate. I mean, Hans did have the tools at his disposal there. I think that was an act of frustration. Nevertheless, a very good game from a very difficult start.
Cracking game, absolutely fantastic. And I genuinely don't think Brits have been nerfed as much as to change the result of that game. I think Hans had everything at his disposal to make that a win. And I think James would do well to rewatch that replay and analyse his play, because we need everybody firing on full cylinders for the upcoming tournament, Grand Championship Series.
Alright, let's go back to that lobby. Whew. Yeah, that was it. That was a great game. Good displays from both players. I kind of get the feeling that game may have gone differently if Hans had, you know, been successful with the rush at the start, because it was kind of like a resource setback for him, having pretty much no territories. And Jove did capitalize on that. I mean, that early Panther, well, not early Panther, but you know what I mean. It was the first one to hit. Hans obviously didn't feel comfortable, you know, getting a out later than that, but it was still a very let's just look at the stats here. Like, it's still a very even game for us. Hey, your mic is
Oh, sorry, I'm on push to speak now. I think that should help. Unfortunately, I've got one thing to declare. Unfortunately, that Jove is not able to compete in Grand Championship Series. He has been conscripted into the Russian army. That is right. Jove is in the army for a year, and that conscription starts in June. So we wish him good luck. And we did have a Google Translate conversation yesterday in Steam, and he wishes everybody in the Grand Championship Series good luck. And he hopes we will have great games. So that's nice of him. And hopefully he doesn't get shot.
Nice. Do you think that's going to work, by the way, with the push to talk? Because it's dropping in and out.
Really? Why? Is
this
you?
Know. It's not coming through Discord. So I don't know if
what do you mean?
As in, like, your light doesn't show up. It goes off.
But if I'm holding push to talk, it's like, it's everything from my mic, isn't it? You know, it's not based on voice activity then.
Oh, okay, that's good. I guess
yeah. It was based on voice activity before, so maybe it was doing like levels and stuff. So I'll just have to hold down push to talk.
Well, we have a bit of a situation now. Who wants to take on Jove? 1v1. Now, Jove is going to have the faction selection. Let's have a quick look. I'm going to open up the raffle right now. So, guys, raffle is open if you want to play against Jove, or you know somebody that would like to play against Jove. Hey, may even be Nagano. That would be an interesting match to watch. Then pull away now. You got a couple of minutes, and then we'll announce the winner, and then we'll go into the next game.
Exciting stuff. Oh, sorry, did you say raffle?
Yeah.
That's it, everybody. Roll up right now, because it's your time to raffle. It is your time to make a fateful decision. It is that time again for do or die, name or shame, nominate or dominate, choose or lose, elect or be wrecked. Raffle now for your chance to play Jove.
King of the Hill.
Nice.
Zanzibar, no, you cannot nominate me. I just want to say, Snitch Tongue, thank you very much for the subscription earlier. I did see that one come through, but there are no alerts on the stream whilst we're casting at the moment. And thanks, guys, for the follows as well. The GCS will be hosted on this channel throughout the entire tournament. So, of course, if you do follow, you'll know it'll be on here.
And also, of course, all the best video content from the streams that we do, the competitive cast streams, will most likely end up on my YouTube channel, which I'd more than be happy if you subscribe to.
I can give you... oh, actually, you've got it already, yeah. Joe. Do you want to invite him in again? Because...
I think that would be best.
I sent him a friend request, but... like... takes so long if you don't have people in the friends list, and he won't go into the yeah, Meme Lord, sorry, that was my fault because I opened Company Heroes. It'll turn his mic off if I do that. That was nothing to do with his push to talk.
Oh, is my cowlick coming out? Oh, damn.
The what?
I use a calf lick or cowlick, where the regional, depending on where you are, some people have a genetic fault in their hairline that causes like a wisp, you know. Thank you for
a cowlick. Is it like a cow's like...
Correct.
Like,
that's what they do to their calves. You know, before we take them to the abattoir to be slaughtered,
actually...
they like to lick their calves a lot, and it makes like swishy patterns in the hair.
Nice.
I'm always one step away from becoming a militant vegetarian, but I like eating meat too much, unfortunately.
Pretty well. We have to be vegetarian when we go to see Ishtari in Sweden.
I'm looking forward to it because we're going to poison our body with alcohol, so at least we'll be able to purify it with vegan food. So it'll kind of balance out, right?
I guess so. Is Jove coming? I'll let you invite him anyway. I'm just going to do the.
I have done it.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to do. My eyes are going, man. I think my eyes are about to just snap shut and stay shut for a while.
Because you're old.
Yeah, apparently so. People saying like your hair's going grey. It's not. It goes a little bit white, like here. Why?
Oh, Jove is here.
He is fantastic. All right, let's go and do the raffle then. So last game we had Ruka Nagano. This time it's going to be Neris.
Sorry, just the way you said Neris. We've like got Jove, former Grandmaster in all 5 factions ×2. ESL Supremo. He's now a professional killer for the Russian Federation's army against Neris.
Against Neris.
It's Neris, everybody. Hi, Neris.
I feel let's not insult Neris. Neris is
sorry, Neris.
Neris has been in this community for a while. I don't actually know anything about him as a player. But either way,
I know he's nominated Nagano, so that's good of him.
Precisely. So Jove Nagano. This is good actually because Nagano is very familiar with the rules, which means they'll be able to set up a game pretty quickly. And get into that. So, please feel free to take the floor. If anyone has any questions for GCS or anything like that, now is your time. Like, ask AE, he knows everything. And whilst I'm setting up the game, you got a couple of minutes.
Yes, everybody ask you questions right now. If you've got any questions about entries, we covered that earlier, but got any questions? Got any questions on how to get to Leicester, England? We'll be working on that. Be some good guides on travel soon. Going to work closely with Dan, who is a professional accommodation supremo. And it's going to be very, very, very cool indeed. Any questions whatsoever, keep them in. Any feedback as well for anything. It's not too late to make minor tweaks if you've got something that you've spotted. My favourite food? It evolves rapidly, to be honest. I've always said my death row meal would be a giant Yorkshire pudding with a Sunday dinner inside, like a roast dinner. But inside a giant Yorkshire pudding is the plate. The conditions for the Newcomer Award, I think Dan and I will nominate 4 or 5 people and then put it to a mass vote.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we'll know it firsthand. Do you know what I mean? We're going to be focused on these games probably more than anyone else. So, definitely. It's good because we're going to be casting pretty much all of the games, aren't we, as well? Yeah,
and plus, like...
Just update, sorry, very quickly. Nagano isn't at home at the moment, so he can't play. Neris has nominated Prodigly. I don't have in
Longbov asks the prize value for the winner based on a projected income of 6. Sorry, Longbov. The V's are disconnected. It's clearly Longbov.
I know, but it's meant to.
No, the V's are disconnected. It's clearly Longbov.
Sorry.
If he wanted to be a longbow, he would have used a W now, wouldn't he? What was the prize value for the winner? Is it first take all the top 3 that based on an income of £6,000 from the Kickstarter GCS? The current first prize is £1,200 and a trophy, a fucking huge trophy. And then we've got £550, so just less than half. It's always just less than half because you want the weight of winning to be on the players' minds. You don't want it to be like, if I lose, I still get 600 quid. No, you get less than half of what the true winner gets. So it's 1,200, 550, 250, 120 for 4th place. So it goes like that. And then we're also going to give £50 to each of the quarter-final losers. So that's 5th to 8th. If they fail to get into the semi-final, they'll still get £50. So just getting to the 3rd round of the tournament, you get money. But it's a very professionally focused tournament. This isn't like before. We need everybody to be committed, valued members of the community, everybody playing on the primary accounts, everybody capable of winning and getting through to the final and flying over to the to Leicester, England, which would be either Heathrow or maybe Manchester or Birmingham. It's really in the middle of England, so it's a really good location. So yeah, that's the prize pool as it stands.
Second.
Any other questions? Still time to ask you questions now.
Okay. Von Aston, yeah. Nagano couldn't play because he's away at the moment. Prodigy isn't here from what I can see, so we're going to go with Von Aston versus Jove for the next game. Looks like they're going to be a couple of minutes though. Thank you very much for that subscription there.
It's from Sid BD Army. Thank you for supporting Stormless. is stream there. This will be the stream that the focus of GCS will be on, so it's a very good one to subscribe to.
Okay, this is probably going to take. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I'll just keep talking, mate. It's fine as long as you can set up.
If you're cool with it, yeah, it's going to be like 5 minutes at least.
That's cool. I needed this time to answer people. I would have loved to have done the tournament in Bovington Tank Museum. That would have been an amazing idea. Maybe next year, because they do have a very good conference room. I've been in it before. Holy shit, why didn't I think of that first? That's all I'll say. Thank you for that, Panzerkampf Fargen Sex Commander. Zany Zap asks, what is love? All I'll say is, baby, do not hurt me. Do not hurt me anymore.
No more.
No, I refuse to use incorrect grammar even when singing.
Thanks, Sid. Much appreciated. Welcome to the... we keep doing this, so I've been calling it the Storm Squad, which of course is the SS. So we've changed... we've changed it now, and you're now Stormtroopers, and that means you can either decide whether it's all playful Star Wars, or you can, if you, of your own doing, attach it to the Waffen SS.
Yes, so you could rampage around Eastern Europe, killing women and children, or you could be a science fiction side character with terrible aim. You have a choice to make.
That's the one you want to be. You want to be
the second one, not the Nazi. Although
don't want to be the Nazis.
Well, they do have skulls on their uniforms, so yeah.
Okay, well, we're just waiting for Von Asten. He's offline at the moment, just restarting his game. Then we're going to get into this next one. Jove was looking absolutely solid in that last game. By the looks of it, he's picked OKW again. I'm just going to message him quickly to make sure he knows what we're doing.
Zany Zap asks, do we have free will? And no, we do not. Consciousness is actually a human construct. It doesn't actually exist. We're all just neurons interacting with other neurons based on environmental experiences and chemical reactions that are built up over your lifetime, and also genetic influences. So free will is not actually a thing. You're just a reaction to other reactions.
Thanks,
Sorry. It's true.
Thanks for reminding us whilst we're all here. No one actually likes company of heroes of their own free will. We're just reacting to the fact that, you know, oh, look, this channel has some viewers on it. Let's go to it. It's just natural reflex. No. I believe we have the free will to play company of heroes.
Canis
By the way,
Magnus makes a great point. World War I stormtroopers were a thing, and it was the Wehrmacht's answer to trench warfare. They actually had people that went into the trenches with improvised machine guns, very early day machine guns, very much Battlefield 1-esque. So that would be a much cooler use of the word stormtrooper.
By the way, I just want to say, this is going to be really... Uslidine, I think that's right. Uslidine TSP. Thank you very much for subscribing. I cannot pronounce your name to save my life. There's no sub sounds or anything like that at the moment. Majority of subs won't even show up just while we're casting to keep it a little bit more professional. We don't have that. Normally during the week there would be an alert and stuff, but not right now. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I feel like I might need to get a glass of water before the next game.
Go for it, man. I'll take the floor.
No, I don't need to do it now. I'll do it whilst the game's loading, because I need to be here for when Von Asten gets back.
Oh, fair enough. Just to go through the milestone rewards then, the ones we've had so far and the ones we've accomplished. If you want to get it up on your screen, just go to the Kickstarter, then we can go through it together in a magical journey. The first one was the non-meta Commander Cut Special. We've replaced that with the King of the Hill GCS Special, and that's what you're watching right now. So that one's been ticked, and you're watching it right now. Battle of the Cast Teams was the next one. That was Generals Gentlemen versus AE and Stormless in a 2v2 best of 3 series. We did that earlier, and we won 2-1. Spoiler alert. AE and Stormless play cast games under the rules of RNG, the drinking game. That'll be in Sweden.
To do this. It's so good. I can't wait for this one. It's going to be hilarious.
It really is. We're going to do it in Sweden live. Can cast some placement matches from the GCS build-up in tournament conditions, so it'll be really cool to do that. Stream Rage Armageddon, the music video, has been released rather controversially. However, it did get a shit ton of likes and stuff on YouTube. It's basically people raging. Me, Hans, couldn't find any of you, Dan, and I know they exist, but I just couldn't find any. I was really
They
gutted,
certainly
to
do
be
exist, and I've made sure that they are very hidden.
honest. Politic to get them away. Damn it, damn you! You did very well because I couldn't find them. And we've had the first game of Devem versus Nagano, the 1v1 showdown, but I have some announcements to make regarding that. I may have alluded to it in the post, but Relic are on board and are supporting the tournament, and they want to see Devem versus Nagano for money as a direct replacement for the final that never was from last year when Dan went to Vancouver for the Warpaint Championships, and we'll probably do that as a kind of GCS opening ceremony like the Olympics.
That would be really cool, actually. Because we did one of the games before, and Nagano won, didn't he? Nagano beat Devem in the game we asked before.
He did.
So I think if we can get a nice best of 3, or I guess maybe it would be a best of 5 if it was going to be what it was from Vancouver.
My envision is that we keep that first game as part of the score and then make it a best of 5. So give Devem the chance for a proper comeback. And then that was it. We actually hit all of those milestone goals within 10 minutes. I think it was 7 minutes we hit those goals, thanks to a massive donation, or several massive donations from our viewers at the time. So we've had to create some more, and we've done a good job, haven't we, Dan? We've got some other good ones. The first of which is a 2v2 Titans showdown. That's Ruka, that's Jove and Nagano, the 2 big Russian players, versus Insane, Aimstrong and Devem. And then the next one is a very interesting one Dan created. Players and casters read their hate mail. How will that work, Dan?
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is, I mean, if we hit that one yet, I'm not sure. Okay, he's gone anyway. If we hit this one, I think this one would be really fun. So basically we're going to open up an email account, and we're going to have a list of people who are going to participate, including myself and AE, and we're going to ask the community to send in any or as much hate mail as you want. Obviously addressed directly to one person each time. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have those players read their hate mail. Thanks, Hans. Then we're going to have those people read that hate mail and put it on for a YouTube video.
And then
Hans, save that comment for hate mail, please. You don't have to write it in chat. But I'll know where that came from when that eventually does come in.
Hans is better at you than you at FPS games, Dan, I have to say.
He is.
He's really good, surprisingly. Like,
I would be perfectly happy if Hans just went off on his own and played it, even if part of a team. Do you know what I mean? Like, the worst bit is having to cover Hans, because it's just like he's just off. Do you know what I mean? Just like, I'm gonna loot this building. Nope, Hans is gone. And I just hear coming through the comms, "Where are you? Why haven't you got my?" Like, I'm trying to get guns. So yeah.
Yeah, his future's bright as a caster, because it is good to watch him as playing FPS, as is you, Dan, but more for the funniness of the humour involved with you. Let's
save this for the hate mail. Let's save this for the hate mail.
I want my hate mail to be brutal, by the way. I want people to say you're an autistic fuck with a lazy eye, go and die. Just something really traumatic to read out. No,
that kind of stuff I don't think will make the video.
Sorry. Really?
Sorry,
I want it to be brutal. Well,
no.
You can make mine brutal. I don't mind.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to edit stuff in there that's just like brutal. I mean, you could say it in a nicer way. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But
I want people to attempt to traumatize me. Okay.
I don't think I would be able to handle it, you know. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No. Yep. What jokes about like personal and physical appearance? Are people allowed to do that?
Yeah, sure. I know I'm gonna get it. So. I wonder how many hate mail. Oh, we might as well make a bet. How many hate mails are gonna be calling me Greybeard or something?
Greybeard. Oh, dear God.
We don't know.
Let's be greyer than ginger.
Well, the bottom part of it is ginger. So it's
like... grey and ginger.
Thanks for that. Cheers, mate.
Like a horrific skin on Company of Heroes, like one Helping Hands would use in a competitive game.
Yeah,
the grey and ginger beard skin.
The Stormless skin. Orange and grey. Von Aston is back. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Von Aston stream, but he's got the biggest pile of poo computer I think I've ever come across. Like, 8-bit graphics. Like, it's terrible. Like, so, and I'm also like surprised it's able to stream. That's how much, like, part of me thinks he's got a streaming PC that's taking this image and going through. But anyway, he is back. He's been on Steam for about 3 minutes now. Here we go. He's typing to me now.
Do you want a bit of a preview of what the that milestone might sound like? Here you go. This is from PF4_Flux. AECO, you are a low-tier accountant with little prospects for improvements in life, clinging on to the barest minimums of purpose to justify your ultimately worthless existence. That's great. That's the stuff we want. Brutal. I love that. It's great, though, isn't it? That's what we want. Yeah, that's great.
I don't know what I don't know if I want to do this anymore. if anything comes in for me, just don't tell it to me, okay?
Okay, we've just to go through the rest of. There's only 4 more to go on the milestones. The £5,400 mark is I'll release my self-recorded song "Ode to Vera Booze." I haven't written it yet, but I did used to be a singer-songwriter when I was at university until I realised it was pretentious. So I can write it, and hopefully it'll be okay. £5,600 Trolls versus All Stars team game. I envisage to try and get this organised for when we're in Sweden, so we can possibly cast it after we've done our drinking game, because then it'll be tolerable. But yeah, that'll be a good one. £5,800 casters to cast wearing World War II uniform for one of the streams. That's a thing that'll happen. And then, of course, the big £6,000 pound cast is AE and Stormless spend a night with 2 ladies of the night and film it and release Company Heroes the sex tape.
What?
Oh, sorry. I mean the Careless Balance song video thing.
No, we should do that in Sweden when we're EU Tenchi hands, you know, just like I have some bad news. We've been waiting for about 10 minutes for Von Asten to restart his PC. He's come back online and now he said, I've just been speaking with Jove and I don't think I want to play. So, sorry to keep you waiting, but they are no longer going to be playing a game, which means we're going to raffle again. So we don't have Nagano, we don't have Von Asten. I see Theodosios is in chat. Maybe he fancies trying to take on Iron Giant. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to redo this raffle. It's open right now.
We could just watch Armstrong versus Boras in auto match right now.
It's going to be a stomp.
I wouldn't say so. Armstrong's been a little bit rusty. I've been watching
Brosras. Did you mean Brosras?
Oh, is he terrible?
No, Brosras is good.
Yeah,
I thought you
that's
said
what I'm
like
saying.
Boris or something else.
No, look, I say
Boris
let's watch this.
Boris is screwed. Brosras wouldn't be. Brosras would be alright. Boris would have a pretty hard time though.
Let's go watch this. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see Armstrong playing an auto match, don't you think?
It would be, but we are doing the King of the Hill milestone reward special, so
kind of got let down by the raffle system a little bit.
Well, back when people were expecting it, like it was a very good system, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to leave this much longer. We're going to do the draw. It's Fickerwolf. Fickerwolf is our hero against the almighty Jove.
Theodosios is in chat as well, so he's a good shout. He's been practicing recently.
He has, and actually, I think Theodosios is either has played or is going to play in the German finals of the tournament at the moment. So, what happened?
Oh, Dev M's lurking as well. I can see that. Oh,
really? Plenty of potential people to play at the moment. So. Fickerwolf, remember to tag me if you win. We've already done the winner. It was Fickerwolf.
Alright, you've got 2 more fails before we're watching Insane Armstrong versus Brosas.
Fickerwolf,
just joking.
Don't give me that bullshit about beg for it. You either tell or I'm gonna just re-raffle, so come on.
Look at Theodosios putting in the raffle tickets, like making his name available.
I quite like that, actually. It highlights. Okay, cool. We're redoing it. So the next one, it's going to be improve in skill. Improve in skill. You are the winner there. And improve in skill. Who would you like to see play against Jove?
I'm so sorry, but that sounds like a Smurf of Price or Barton.
No, Improving Skill is a good member of this channel. Subscriber.
Oh, is he? Sorry.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Improving Skill is much the legitimate person.
I knew it'd be too clever, because it'd be the clan tag, wouldn't it? Learn to play.
I'll fix it. I know the name Ficklewolf is in the person in my chat, but I don't know what it's referring to.
Feed Jove. Jesus.
No, we can't be too long with this. Ficklewolf is trying to troll. We're not going to validate it. So improving skill. Is he even here? This is the pinnacle of the raffle system. It is a well-oiled machine. I wonder that Helping Hands would want a rematch. I'm open to it improving, but there are some people that haven't played today who may want to. Or Love Nest. Okay, is Love Nest even here? Love Nest is in the chat. Normally he's a little bit resistant to actually playing. So try and come up, by the way, with good suggestions. I mean, like, if you see someone who's typing... bless Theo, you know, he's been... How many times has Theo said, I would love to play, and hasn't been able to, because you aren't voting him in. Loveness plays in that German tourney, yep. So, proven skill, you got another opportunity before I re-raffle.
Love that Aimstrong's asking me how various things are changed in WPC. He doesn't read the patch notes, he just asks me.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to re-roll. So the next one is going to be... I was really hoping Improving Skill would come up with something decent then. The next one, Zutrin. Bing. Zutrin has won the raffle. Zutrin, who's it going to be? Bring it on. We've got games to cast. Come on, Zutrin.
Go banana.
Jove. Okay, next one. It is Twitch Creature. Twitch Creature, you're the next one to the raffle. Twitch Creature.
This is Jove.
Twitch Creature, you're the next person. Who's it going to be? Nominate a player.
Oh, God. Oh, this is great. I'm having such a good time.
Garfix, so I can see. We have a system here. And the system is, if you win, you nominate or you play. And I'm too proud to give up this system.
Yes, you're so fucking proud it's untrue.
Every logical bone in my body is saying, just freaking pick Theo and play the game, but no. We're sticking to our guns here. Twitch Creature doesn't appear to be here. Next one.
Keep it coming, guys.
Mega Sean. Mega Sean, you are the person to either face Jove or pass along to someone else. Are you
That's
going
right,
to...
Mega Sean. It is now your chance to do or die, name or shame, nominate or dominate, choose or lose, elect to be wrecked. What say you, Mega Sean? What say you?
It sounds like Megatron, you know, like the... Megatron.
Please, Mega Sean. Fucking do it.
Nominate Theo!
Now.
Yeah!
Get it! Come on! We fucking did it, man. We finally did it.
We
I'm
did it,
so
and we
happy.
stuck to the rules. Mega
God.
Sean, thank you very much for saving this stream. I feel really bad for Jove, who's been sitting in this lobby waiting for his next game for like 20 minutes.
Oh, God.
Theo, get yourself in. We're going to do this right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. Where is he? Theodosios. There we go.
That was really quite funny the way he said that. We did it! And we stuck to the rules, and isn't that the most fun you can have?
It is. It is. I'm a rigid person. I don't like change. I don't like... I was going to say I don't like winging it, but... Oh, look, now Twitch Creature comes back and says he nominates Theo.
Oh, well done, Twitch Creature. That's
Good job. Good job.
Well done, mate.
Oh, well, it's a load off my mind. Talk to Joe quickly. Theo, got to be getting in any second.
Aimstrong just asked me this question in Steam. Am I correct in that a Maxim at the moment can walk up to an MG42 in its cone, set up, and sometimes win? And I said, yes. Yes, it can. Hence the balance patch we've got coming. And then I said, it's a BS unit, and did you lose versus process? And he said, yeah, I just quit. I can't be arsed. And then he said this. This is so funny. I can't help but publicize this. This is the same as Devon, by the way. The airstrike from the German commander. I used it, and it only targets vehicles now too. All the clutch abilities have been changed. Yeah, welcome to 2015. Jesus Christ.
Do you remember that Dev Aim? You talk about that Dev Aim game, so.
Yeah, but no, he's done the exact same thing in Auto Match today.
Oh, right. So terrible. I mean, it even says, doesn't it, now? They change it to say that.
I'm having to give him a pep talk.
Does anybody read the rules thing?
No.
Mind you,
yeah.
who's talking.
I know, I was about to say that.
I rescind that comment.
You have gotten better, to be fair.
I got a little bit better, but I am exactly that type of person. I don't know why I'm getting caught up about it. Okay.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Here we go. They're on. They're done. Left the group. Oh. Oh dear.
Oh, Aimstrong's got Brosass again in Auto Match. And he was just telling me...
Must be pretty good skill level then, Bros Rasmus.
Yeah, but Armstrong's like asking me, to be honest, I might not enter because I'm having to weigh the fun, in inverted commas, versus the lameness. Because Maxim Spam does that to you, doesn't it? It's so obnoxious.
Yeah, silly.
And then he says, how come it hasn't been fixed for 4 fucking years? I'm just going to type a 5-letter word back to him. Do you know what the word will be? Can you guess? He's on about... He's on about Maxim Spam, and he says, how come this shit has not been fixed for 4 fucking years?
Oh, I know, yeah, I know where this is going.
And the 5-letter word I'm going to say back is... Begins with an S?
Oh,
Second
I thought you were going to say relic.
No, that's... No! I was going to say scope.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot worse. That's really, yeah.
Everybody in chat thought it was relic as well.
Did they? No, it was scope. He wouldn't get that joke anyway.
Oh man, that's...
And relic. That was so funny. Can the Kubel suppress, or does it have to get veterancy now?
I'm not sure.
I think it's with veterancy at Vet 5 or something.
God, how long does it take to set up a game?
If anybody's got any questions about GCS, now's your time to ask them. I'm also waiting for Dan to set up this game. Just for those that are the uninitiated, 32-player single elimination tournament starting with best of 5 matches is going to be underway in 20 days' time. We've got the entries thread going up right now. That's !entries in chat if you want to see who's entered so far. And it's very exciting. We've also got a balance patch coming, possibly, if all goes to plan, balancing out 5 of the worst units in the game, making everything a lot more competitive and better. And it's very exciting. We're also in advanced talks with with an esports venue, one of the coolest esports venues in the world, quite frankly, to host to host the Company Heroes 2 tournament finals for the first time ever in a live setting with up to 100 attendees. What happens to players that sign up but cannot enter because isn't top 32, says Mujahideen? Basically, there will be a waiting list for the first round only. So if you sign up and then we get people dropping out or people that couldn't get their passport sorted and you've emailed me your passport, you know, I'll be subbing in entries. There will be an extensive ranking system that'll be very well thought about, and we'll make sure that we try and get the best 32 players in based on... yes, so Stefan Beck asks, how does the entry work now? So it did change a little bit. The first step is exactly the same as it's always been. So that's we take all the auto match ranks for Axis and Allies, your best Axis rank and your best Allied rank, add them up and divide by 2. So it's the average of your best from Allied and Axis. But aside from that, we then add bits to it. So for about 8 players that have played in so many tournaments in the past couple of years, we can just say, yeah, we know how good these guys are. We can adjust their auto match ranks. So very quickly link that in chat. These are the 8 players, not counting Jove and Paula for different reasons. And then other than that, if you're not one of those 8 players, you're going to go through placement matches. It's just really easy. It's flexi time. You organize it, but against 3 opponents, play 2 games each, 1 Axis, 1 Allies, 6 games total. And we'll use that to help adjust your ranks. If you do well, your ranks will go up. If you do badly, they'll go down. If you don't play, they'll go down further. You definitely have to play these placement matches in order to get a good seed. And getting a good seed is very important, because in this tournament, if you get to the quarterfinals, you're guaranteed money. So you want to be winning, and you don't want to get a low seed, because then you get the best players, because it's a traditional seeding system. So far we've got auto match, tournament history, placement matches. It all adds up, and we create a provisional seeding. We then take this provisional seeding, we consult experts. That could be some of the best players in the game that we trust to be honourable people, such as Lovenest, Von Ivan, Nagano. These guys are nice guys, are honourable. We trust them to look through the seeding and say, you know what, I think you've seeded them a bit too high, a bit too low. It's not gospel. We don't take that as 100% accurate. We just weigh it up against our own opinions. And it just helps if we've got top-level players, because these guys have actually played everybody. So it really helps us as casters and tournament organisers to seed things. And then we take everything we've got and we think, right, this is off field. We want to get the best 32 people to play, and we want to keep the top players away from each other for as long as possible. So we just do our best job. This is superior to past systems. The 2 past systems were 1, qualifying events in best of 1 situations, which quite frankly is shit for Company Heroes because it's an RNG-orientated game. And the other thing was we used to have seeding panels where we get people that are intermediate players and organisers to try and seed the players. And to be honest, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of fanboyism would creep in. And in my opinion, it's a little bit biased. So hopefully this system works. And sorry for causing resident sleepers there, Aldudorino. But somebody asked the question, and it is a difficult process, so it takes a while to explain.
Sorry for the delay, by the way. Jove is a little confused. Yeah, I tried to leave it in a condition they could just start the game, but...
Ori Forever says, I want to know how you got Romeo to cast some of the tourney matches. Basically, Nightmare Hunt says it's getting boring. Yes, it is getting boring. Listen to me talk about the tournament. I'm sorry, but Dan's trying to work frantically in the background to get the players organised. So just chill out for a second. Romeo, how did we get Romeo back? Romeo has always been there. He's always been waiting. He wants the perfect opportunity to come back into casting, and he has found it in the Grand Championship Series. That's right. The the 9-yard stare through Stormless, says Ficker Wolf. Thought it was a 10-yard stare. He's not quite fully gone yet then. But yeah, so Romeo's come back. Also, Imperial Dane's coming back to tournament casting. He hasn't cast tournaments for a while, so it'll be interesting to have him do that. KotH's in chat. There's going to be a 2v2 tournament from KotH next weekend. That's going to be very exciting indeed. It's very cool. Yeah, I think it's up to 60 teams now competing for money and pride and honour.
Women.
And women! Oh, God. The poor 3 women in the community have the work cut out for them.
Jesus. Okay, I think we're about ready to go now. I think they've started. So what we're going to do the trailer. We'll go into the wait screen just so you guys got some action to look at for the moment. And then within the next 5 minutes, the game will start.
Oh my God. Really?
My God. This is Paula's moment entirely, though. He absolutely has to nail this right down. The micro has got to be perfect. There we go. He manages to use more speed to get the Comet around the back of the Panther. What he really has, and he's about to take down the Pershing. Let's not fault this. He still has the Stern Tiger. The Pershing is down. Devem is so far off another vehicle right now. The Stern Tiger has a great opportunity to go in and deal some damage. He has to get control of VP immediately.
Try and find the south. I know it's going to focus on the units. ISU-152 backs into the headquarters sector. Panther's going to have difficulty trying to get through to that rear armour whilst it's rotating. Indeed, it does. Oh, Panzerwerfer for the massive barrage! Oh, dear God! That's genocide! Oh, rocket artillery genocide! The Pumas are blocking it, it's trying to retreat, but they've got double block on it, and they get rid of it almost immediately! Great call by Stormers, great play by Barton, using the bonus cover road to retreat, going all the way around the rear. No snares, no mines, Barton 1, Loveness 0 when it comes
to trying to get the infiltration nades off. Does a little bit of damage, and he may be able to force that unit out of there, but here's the risk. Command Panther on the ice. Cromwell is close.
Oh no! Oh, this is like Jack and Rose. Looks likely that is the most ridiculous play in Company of Heroes 2 history. With all of his vehicles on tiny fractions of health, Bourne has rescued this from the fires of bloody Hades. Dear Christ, what a game.
You doing it?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the exciting propaganda cast. With me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Right, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off today with another exciting 1 versus 1, this time on Argentine Crossroads. We've got in the north the illustrious Theodosios. He's fighting as Reichsfuhrer Lieutenant for the glorious Deutschland 116th Panzer Division, Windhund. He's up against Jove.
Right, Jove winning his previous game today versus HelpingHans. He's been waiting for a little bit of a while now. Was due to play Nagano and then all these other players. Now his opponent is going to be Theodosios, who has just come back, I think, from playing versus Lovenest in a separate tournament. So he's in tournament mode already. We hope to see a good game from him.
It's a good game, good map, good factions. Let's have fun and let's let the good times roll. We got Jove in the south fighting as the Brits. This guy is a 5-faction Supremo Grandmaster. He was former #1 in all 5 factions. He's up against Theodosios' Wehrmacht. How do you think it's going to pan out, Dan?
To be honest, I mean, Jove's playing the Brits. This will probably be this might be the first time he's played the Brits in this current patch, this preview patch rather. So there may be some things he's not expecting. He's got the Mobile Assault Regiment in there, and he knows that Hans has just used that against him with less effect than usual. But I think we'll see a good game regardless. Jove's an excellent player. Was he the first person to hit 5 in all 5 factions? Sorry, #1
in KotH. In KotH, yes, he was the first Grandmaster for all 5. I believe, I'm trying to rack my brain who was the first when we had 4 factions before Brits. Oh God, who was it? Jesulan. Jesulan was got #1 in all 4 factions. Jove did it on all 5. And
such an impressive thing to do, to be able to hold down the micro and the builds for 5 different factions. A huge understanding of what each faction has as advantages and disadvantages, and giving him the ability to just exploit everything that any player really throws at him, which is absolutely fantastic.
The battle of the machine guns in the centre. And green cover versus that strong 2-story house.
Interesting how neither player went totally aggressive there at the start. I mean, obviously, Austere doesn't want to be pushing too much. Brits, not really the kind of faction that you want to go overly aggressive with in that previous game like Hans did. There's a lot of rapid fire going on at the moment. Universal Carrier and the Vickers. We put in some huge hurt on the Grenadiers. Nice early Faust there in the Universal Carrier.
Yeah, good early Faust, but nothing to follow up. It's just going to keep the Universal Carrier at bay. But that'll be good enough to allow him to start capping with the Pioneer, because he's obviously 1 unit up, and with the Grens coming out 3 units total, he might have an opportunity to swallow up the map.
I think actually, you know, Theo's picked a good map here, because I think this is one of the maps where Axis actually do tend to perform relatively well. There's nice, you know, open ground, and once you get the LMGs up, you know, they have a good chance of, you know, going just cover-to-cover position, dealing with the Brits quite well. The rifle nades really help out when Brits do occupy cover, so, you know, it is a nice map that Theodosios has picked. It might just tip the balance.
For people asking about GCS mod, all the links are in the KotH.org post that went up yesterday. You'll find it about 2/3 of the way down the page. Get out there, get practicing in it, and get your feedback rolling in.
Well, the initial push from Theo here has been absolutely fantastic, really holding off all of the kind of defensive mechanisms that Jove put in at the start of the game. He's going to have 2 VPs and a pretty decent resource income at the start, so we could see a rush of tier 2 here to help deal with the Brits.
Good sandbags down on his cutoff, because he's got to protect his cutoff. Crossroads is a highly cutoff orientated map. It's pretty much defined by it. So the Vicar's now in a good position. He's going to be able to push these Grenadiers away, or at least that's the hope.
Not looking like he's having a good start at all. Could even see a triple cap coming at 5 minutes in. This is again just one of the top players in the Company Heroes 2. Company Heroes franchise.
I think Theodosios is getting there, though, in all honesty. He's one of those sleeper players, along with the triple T of tournament players that are ones to watch. You've got Talisman, Theodosios, and Tomikaze. There we go.
Yeah, I hope we get to see some more players like what we saw in ESL, because Talisman was just absolutely explosive during ESL. It was just crazy the kind of plays that we saw from him, and I think we'll get. Sorry.
Really paid off for him, to be honest, because I did a massive statistical analysis of all the ESL tournaments and everything since OCF onwards, and Talisman ended up as the 10th best tournament player in that time period. So all his ESL work, he got second 4 tournaments in a row. It all added up in the end, and it's meant that he's a seed for GCS already.
Yeah, it's done him well. I think like a lot of the players that participate in tournaments, you know, they it's nice that they get rewarded, to be honest, for the kind of time that they put in.
You've got it. That's how a competitive community will work, and how Company Heroes 2 will grow as a competitive community. The players need rewarding for properly training, because this game's beautiful to cast when it's people at a high level standard. It becomes amazing. It becomes on a different level. So we need to encourage that, and that's what GCS is all about, baby.
It's so nice to like one of the things that carries this game so far is its cinematic quality. You know, every time we watch this game, it's just so beautiful, and you can really get like, you know, those little. Should I use the word stories? Is that too cliche with Relic's branding of the game? But
every game does tell a story, Dan.
Oh, here we go. I'm trying to avoid that.
Those stories are a lot more important when it's high stakes and a high skill game. When you've got people that have invested thousands of hours just to make it to one moment where they're facing each other, that story is no longer a 4v4, a plane crashed into you know, the battle group headquarters and killed 3 squads. That is, holy shit, he's just lost £1,000 and is no longer picking up a trophy because that skill plane fell and crashed into those squads. It's a little bit different, you know.
Scout car has arrived.
The initial stories were slightly more horrific, weren't they? They were. The stories that Duffy had in mind were horrific for these guys. But now we have something with a little more quality. We have stories about the players, and I think that's actually a really nice thing that the tournament is going to have, is that we're going to have a lot of stories that come through from ESL, a lot of rivalries, you know, a lot of digs that have been happening between, like we always have that thing, Price versus Love Nest, you know, we're going to have the rivalry, Hans and Jove.
Barton versus everybody.
Barton versus everyone.
Here we go. So Jove is playing as the Brits, which means he's a slow burn faction. And I'm not just talking about the Wasp, the Universal Carrier, I'm talking about his entire methodology of playing here. He's not going to have an early game dominance, he's going to build, and he's going to make his army stronger, and then he's going to be able to build, get into the late game on a rampage.
I mean, the Brits are a fairly defensive faction. I think Jove is doing the right thing. He's kind of hanging back a little bit. We see the mortar emplacement is going up as well, which is going to really help him cover the 2 VPs on his side. It's a really nice position for it if he can keep it blocked off for a good period of time. But I love this. I just love the Wasp upgrade on the Universal Carrier. Not too often you get to see the Flamethrower. I think it's had a change, hasn't it? Did it have a change recently in the recent patch?
Yes.
It definitely has something that makes it more viable. I don't know whether it's cost or whether it's damage related, but anyway, it's a very good clearance unit now for the Brits to have. I just love the way that Jove is using this as well, constantly bouncing in and out, forcing the Grenadiers to run through the flames that it leaves on the ground, avoiding the scout car all the time. He doesn't want to go too close to that mortar pit in case the scout car tracks him, but there is protection from the AEC.
Do you know when I said yes? I meant no. It was removed. It was not in scope, so they got rid of that change. The only change to the Universal Carrier are that you can't use it as the command vehicle for that spam ability anymore.
That's a shame. Oh, I'm sad it got removed.
Yeah, the guys were trying to put as much into that patch as they possibly could, and then Papa Relic said, hang on, this wasn't in the survey. But then Papa Relic redeemed themselves when we came begging in the build-up to this tournament, after we saw Von Ivan and Lovenest having scrimmages using entirely Maxim-based strategies. I was like, holy shit, all this hard work is going into this tournament, and it's going to be ESL NA all over again.
You like to rip on the NA side of ESL, don't you?
Shocking, mate, absolutely shocking, yeah. It was literally just Paula and Von Ivan show, like, and then Momo and Red Wings kind of a little bit sometimes, maybe.
Red Wing, I would love to see Red Wings. I mean, he's not around in the community at the moment, is he?
No, I think he's doing a medicine degree, much like Aimstrong was at one point. So these guys that have chosen a very hard degree, they can't really dedicate as much of the time to Come Heroes anymore. Same as Tommy952 as well, I believe, of Come Heroes One Fame. I have a database of every degree I've chosen.
Theodosios, I think he saw that mine going down, tries to take a couple of shots with the scout car to clear that mine. And Jove's doing some great work here. He's got the Vickers pinned up in the house there. Wasp providing flame support to burn those grenadiers out of cover, whilst the AC just tries to pick off as many of the infantry models as it can. And Jove very, very quickly coming back into this game. Theodosios has to find a way of dealing with that mortar pit.
I can't see a pack, but what I can see is something very, very cool. If you're Imperial Day and you're watching this, it's the Sturmgeschütz.
Ready to deploy.
Yeah, nice unit choice. This is going to really do a lot of work against that Universal Carrier and AEC. It's going to make it very, very difficult, because like, the combination for Jove is very, very good, using those two together in synergy with each other. The Stug is going to disrupt that.
Yeah, the Stug's going to be a very good unit on this map as well. It's got some very open channels, especially down that central road. Going to be finding some good targets. It's had a lot of use in recent play, hasn't it, the Stug?
It has, yeah. I mean, for its cost, what it does is absolutely fantastic. It's a great unit.
The Sturmgeschütz has changed roles a lot in Come Heroes 2 history. Started as anti-tank, then went anti-inf, and now it's back to anti-tank. Very reminiscent of its role in Eastern Front on the steppe. And it's a very good unit in this game. It's always good to get the pintle mount on it though, because of course it is nice to have some Theodosios found the Wasp down 6-pounder in position.
He's going to try and take that guest shot with the attack ground. Doesn't quite manage to get it, but now we spotted the AT gun with the grenadiers that are coming in. Gets the second shot, the Wasp is down.
There is the benefit of combined arms strategies. Always lead within, get line of sight for your vehicles, and you can really make an indentation on your opponent's face.
I would say that's a pretty nice pickup there for Theodosios, because that was one of the units that was really stopping the Grens from pushing this point up. And there isn't much that Jove has to defend this now. The MG is not in a position where it can come in, which means this mortar pit is left very, very vulnerable to the Stug right now.
And notice, you can see it, Bay. He's got his Grens leading. However, the brace has come in for the mortar pit, so the Sturmgeschütz is going to have to get out of there because it's got no viable possibility of taking it down.
I think that was a sensible decision to retreat there. I think he possibly was asking for a little bit too much if he thought he was going to get the mortar pit as well. But at the very least, you know, yeah, I mean, what he has done, you know, the engineers, there's only a one model on that squad. They're not going to be able to repair this quickly, so the mortar's got a great opportunity to finish that mortar pit off if it wants to.
Yeah, exactly. He just brought the Vet 2 mortar up behind the house. Just as we were talking about the Sturmgeschütz not being able to take out, he had another idea in his intentions. So it's like a reverse dynamic with Ver versus Brits, because Ver are all of a sudden the early game faction against the late game Demon. It's almost as though 10 years of Company Heroes history have been rewritten, and it's no longer Wehrmacht clinging on to get those late game tanks out, it's now the Brits.
Incendiary fireworks up from the MG42 here. 5-man squad's upgraded from Jove as well. He should have some good flanking potential. They're going to be great when the upgrades kick in. Got to focus on getting that mortar pit repaired. The engineers are trying to come up to that now. I guess the 5-man squad will contribute to a little bit extra repair time.
Attempting to steal our sector.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's one extra blowtorch. Should have to have somebody like Cruzy or Yan252 in chat to confirm.
Encyclopedias of KotH. Jove's actually gone for tactical support regiment, so I wonder if he's going to show us what the late game artillery cover looks like. Of course, this isn't going to be the artillery cover that was previously in the game, or is currently in the live patch. It's going to act a bit differently, so I do hope we get to see it. I really like to be showing us this. Oh, what a wipe from the mortars there. Grenadier squad goes down, drop an LMG, which is picked up immediately by the Tommies. That makes them a pretty fearsome squad on the field right now.
Theodosios is really ramping it up though now. He's consolidated himself in the centre. He's using grenadiers to lead his army to get line of sight for his heavy hitters, and it's working really well.
We have a fresh grenadier squad.
It is, you know, when you just think about like the mechanics of this game, Jove is very comfortably sitting on resources of fuel munitions. He's got his VP, which means the ticker's going to go down slow enough that he can kind of move his resources over a longer time in the game. He's still going to be looking at a late game at the moment. And it's going to be very difficult for Theodosios to push that off. I'm interested to see how he does it. Focus right now, there's the mortar pit as the flame pioneers come in.
I think it's going to be very interesting. I think, by the way, you'll be surprised to see how that the artillery cover is still affected. It's just dodgeable now. If you don't move, you do get screwed over by it, but we could be seeing it, and I've got the, we'll talk about it. I'm going to post it in chat as well when it comes up, but it'll be interesting to see how it works in a competitive section. Vet 3 Brit mortar, 10 kills, but a lot of health damage, constantly keeping Theodosios moving around in his stronghold.
Come on, Panzer IV's just hit the field. I'd love to know what
interesting choice.
It is, yeah. I wonder if he's just banking on Jove not having, or maybe not going to play the Cromwell. Maybe he's, you know, counting on Jove teching up maybe to Comet and thinks he has a little bit more time than he needs. But he's going to make good use of this Command Panzer IV. Working up the right-hand side of the map, trying to work up towards that VP. If he can get a triple cap, he'll actually start to put some serious pressure on Jove.
2 6-pounders waiting for him though, so he can't really push in as much as he might like, and he could leave himself vulnerable, especially if the AEC goes into flank. Because keep in mind that Theodosios has no Pack 40 backing him up.
Oh, I think this Command Panzer IV has just made a bit of a mistake. Hasn't retreated from the AT gun. Oh, fortunately he has this smoke discharger. Pops that. Should be able to get that away.
Doctrine represent. There you go. Panzer Tactician smoke utilised at its most effectiveness.
I mean, for those people that maybe don't know the mechanics of this game specifically, like there's a lot of, we would say, is like high-level stuff going on in the game right now. A lot of vehicles that, you know, you may think that they're just sitting around buildings and not do anything. The players, they're using ground attack to fire through the buildings, trying to get those lucky hits on the vehicles that are going to allow them just to tip engagements either way. So, a lot of really cool things. There's lots of mind play going down. The build order's fantastic here. I want to see where Theodosios goes with this though. I want to see whether he's going to take up to a tier 4 or whether he's going to try and go for that. Oh, we've seen that before, haven't we? We've seen the huge tier 3 army with the Command Panzer IV previously, and it was very, very effective.
It does become extremely effective. You get that holy trinity from tier 4, and you've got the aura of the command tank giving defensive bonuses. It becomes very good indeed. Feisty Dutchman makes a very interesting comment from chat. If Jove goes for Comet, it will get hard countered by the Stuka Loiter by the time it arrives. And he's bang on there. He got 12 CP, very powerful anti-tank strafe from the Stuka dive bombers. And so possibly what Jove is going for in late game could get countered by that.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting. He's actually just going for the Cromwell, which, I mean, is still going to have trouble dealing with the Ju-87. And I'm not 100% sure if, because obviously the Ju-87 tracks vehicles. Actually, no, I'm thinking of the P-47s track it by the size, don't they? So I don't know how the Ju-87s, if they react any differently to the Cromwell than it is the Comet?
Pretty much just very, very powerful with the Stray. So you don't get out of there with light armor, you're screwed. And medium armor followed by tanks is pretty much gone as well. So it's a very powerful ability indeed.
Theodosios is just trying to push every single angle he can at the moment. Jove, I mean, he's still fairly comfortable just sitting in his territory. I don't think we've seen anything too stressful for Jove to deal with. However, you know, 2 VPs held for a significant amount of time. Panzer IV hits the field at the same time as the Cromwell. Theodosios just completely outmasses allied vehicles. We don't get to see this very often.
The noose is tightening right now. Theodosios is going in for it. He's got his medium armor. He's coming in. He's probing. He's leading with the grunts. He's leading with the flamethrowers. He's trying to find a weakness. Get those 6 pounds decrewed, and then he'll go in for the kill.
This is making a pretty ambitious push here. Cromwell's trying to target the Stug rather than anything else. Clearly sees the value of importance and now just picks up target point, maybe? Nope, doesn't decide to use it there.
Slice Fansig has gone down. Still leading with these tanks though. He hasn't actually decrewed any of these 6 pounders, so he's quite vulnerable if he chooses to keep pushing.
Oh my gosh, look at this, bouncing around, trying to pick up the mortar pit. The Cromwell has to hang around at the back at the moment, because it's a little bit in need of repairs. Theodosios is just constantly trying to push separate angles. Looks like the AEC might take its turn against the Panzer IV. I would love to see this go in, maybe try and use one of the abilities. I think one's just gone off there. No,
Theodosios has been pugnacious. He wants this so badly. He wants to finish off his opponent, but he's coming up against a hard front, and this hard front's starting to react.
I wonder how long he can keep this aggression going for. Got a lot of things to repair at the moment, as I've already gone for the double pioneers, so repairs should be quick enough for him. The worry is actually if Jove can stack up the munitions, you know, with good artillery support, I'm sure it's still going to be enough for a good play to come in, despite being significantly less overpowered than it has been in previous patches. We've also got that huge potential problem, which you know sometimes tend to happen if players do overextend. If Theodosios tries to go for a huge push that maybe doesn't quite realise itself immediately, end up with a couple of losses that Jove may be able to take advantage from. Jove's certainly got the manpower on him for that.
He's got the manpower, and that's something that Theodosios is starting to lack if you look at the resource income at the bottom. Largely thanks to this Brit mortar that's doing some great work for Jove, 16 kills and counting.
I'd be surprised right now if the Vet 3 mortar from the Austere couldn't deal with this, because you know, it's already low health. The range increase on a Vet 3 Austere mortar is incredible, so you can easily take it from range, maybe even outrange. I wonder if we'll get to see that now. And the mortar's definitely been hitting him on the manpower front quite hard.
Panzer has not quite had the impact he would have liked, neither has the Stug. He is going for a second Panzer. So he'll have the army. It's whether he can make the impact though. I would argue he needs some indirect fire more than the Vet 3 mortar to really make an indentation on these 6 pounders. What would you recommend at this point, Dan? A second mortar maybe? What could have really helped wipe these 6 pounders to make it so his vehicles can push in?
I don't know, to be honest, I think he's doing the right thing by going for this medium vehicle push. He can get a significant advantage there, but I think it's now becoming like a time game, because if he doesn't make that push, and maybe Jove does take up to something significant and uses artillery colours, could start losing those vehicles very, very quickly, and then not being able to really replace with anything decent enough to compete. So I think it's going to come to a moment where Theodosios is going to start making some good pushes.
Oh, he's decrewed the 6 pounders in the west. This might be his moment. He's tightening the noose. He's waiting for the situation to be right. And I sense they might be going for this.
I think he is. Look at that, destroying both AT guns, denying Jove any chance to get AT back in the game. He's going to have to pay for those again now, which he does not want to be doing at this moment. Mortar Pit looking a little bit worse for wear, but under brace. And now the Ju-87 Loiter Strafe comes in. Going to target that Cromwell first.
There he goes. He just needs to keep line of sight. He needs to stay in there. That's why the Panzerfears are coming down the eastern flank. He's got to take advantage of the situation. Oh my god, what the hell? With one strafe takes out both vehicles.
That was... Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that at all. I thought the first Loiter had already been. Apparently not. Apparently wants to target on its second run through. Jove surrenders. Wow. What an impressive performance.
Line of sight to do that.
No, this... Basically, if you have line of sight, it will track you. And even if you drive into the fog of war, once it's got you, it will follow you. But I mean, normally both planes will pick a target and hit on the first run through. That one flew off, came round after tracking, and wiped both of those. That was a great game from Theodosios. Very strong performance.
Yeah, it really was. I definitely think he was winning that quite comprehensively, but Jove had the opportunity for a comeback. And it seemed like I don't know, a bit of a messed up situation there. Save replay, I guess.
Yeah, have a look at that, definitely. Very, very good game. Lovely strategy from Theodosios.
Team to go out there and nerf 5 or 6 units that were going to be by far the dominant meta of the upcoming major tournament. However, in order to do that, there's a test patch, which is it's like a mod, a tuning pack that we're all playing on. And what needs to happen is everybody needs to play it and test it out. We need to get it in fighting fit form, ready for the tournament and ready for people to scrim and prepare on the tournament. So if there's any bugs, such as loiters attacking vehicles when they shouldn't be, it needs to be rectified right now. And this is the best time to do it. So please help us and make this happen.
God, 10,000 damage on one of on those AT guns.
Really? Jesus Christ!
Its most valuable unit is the AT gun. 10k damage. It's crazy.
That's insane. That's as much as one
That's
player.
Half of his entire damage dealt that game, or just under half.
Insanity.
I guess when you have a lot of the medium tier vehicles, it's crazy. Very good game though. Theodosios is looking very, very strong. And of course, hopefully we'll see him in the Grand Championship Series as well.
I think he's a strong contender to play. I think he's going to be there. He's going to be playing, and it's going to be awesome to see him do really well. I think he's one of those players that's been building up his skill level for quite a while now.
Jesus.
So everybody, there's the link. Sorry, Dan, just interrupt. There's what I was just talking about. There's a link to the post on KotH.org. If you go 2/3 of the way down, you'll see all the links to the GCS Balance Mod Tuning Pack. Go there, download it, find bugs, report them. We need this to be in fighting form and as soon a time as possible. Sorry, you were saying?
No, it's fine. I was just saying we're about to hit 7 PM. So you're aware I have some work to do. So I can't stream much longer than this, unfortunately. So we're not going to be able to have another game. But I will host another member of the community when we do go offline. Hopefully you guys